Whoa! Yes, it's a really big head. You know who it is? It's Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, aka Kevin O'Leary. Listen, I love a little headgear to kick off one of these because you got to have some fun once in a while. Big, a little smaller. Shark Tank, yep, love the shark hat. You know, this is from a few seasons back, but I just have so much fun with this thing. You know, it's sort of like Halloween. I run around scaring kids with cash on either side, like cash for ears. Let's talk a little bit about the holiday season because, you know, in all seriousness, this is one of the toughest times of the year for one thing that really is insidious: credit card debt. What happens starting right now, Thanksgiving, and then going right through Christmas and Hanukkah and the holiday season, is people get in that emotional mode where they want to buy things for themselves and for others. And that in itself is a great thing. It's a celebration of life, and I love that. The problem is they're not thinking through the cost, because if you can't afford to pay it back at the end of 30 days later, it goes on your credit card and you're paying 17 to 30%. Now I'm going to give you some tactics, and I'm going to be selfish and very promotional about some of my Shark Tank companies, because I'm going to give you some ideas about what to buy for this holiday, and you bet they're going to be my Shark Tank deals, but also on how to manage your expectations in terms of how you spend money. Here's my tip number one, and I'm really going into multiple markets. For our friends, obviously we'll start with Thanksgiving. Casharino. Why am I showing you this? You're going to find out in a minute. Cold hard cash. For our Canadian friends, cold hard Canadian cash. But you know, we got a lot of people watching all around the world, including lots of friends in Switzerland. Swiss cash, Swiss francs. Love this. And of course, euros for all our European friends. I carry all this around with me because I never know where I'm going to be. But the point's the same. Here's an idea for you, something a little different. When you set out your holiday season, instead of using a credit card, I want you to try something completely different. I want you to take out from your account all the cash you're going to spend on gifts. In other words, make your list, decide who you're going to give to, and let's say you decide you're going to spend $1,000. Go get $1,000, real cash. It's a little bit more, but you get the idea. And you say to yourself, you put this in an envelope, this is what I'm going to spend. I'm not going to put any gift purchase on a credit card. And the reason I like this strategy, and I've used it all through my life, is it's finite. This bundle of cash is all you've got to spend. And it makes you think, how should I allocate it properly? What should I buy? And so when you go through your list, let's say you're married, you think about your wife, you're probably going to spend the most there. If you have kids, you're going to spend there too. Then you get into your relatives and friends. Not everybody deserves to have a whole lot of dollars spent on them. Very often it's the thought that counts. And this is where the shamelessly promotional aspect starts. Obviously, I love holidays. I love weddings. I like anything to do with celebrating life, which is why one of my companies is Love Pop Cards. So for around $10, you can get a beautiful piece of art like this from lovepop.com and buy a gift. This is art. You send this to somebody. This was our last year Christmas card. All of the guys at O'Leary Ventures signed it. We sent it out to all our friends and family. It's a shark. It's really cool. No one ever threw it out. Piece of art. That's really what it is. 10 bucks. Very affordable. You simply go into your pile of cash and you extract $10 for it. You can buy Love Pops all over the place. But that's my whole idea. It's gone then. Maybe you get 2 Love Pop cards and you spend 20. You no longer have that. Your pile's a little smaller. But you're not in debt. All right? You took this out of your account. Next, let's talk about one of my favorites, Bottle Breacher. They came out with a new product this year. It's a pen. Isn't that cool? This is Alex's pen. Alex Kenji, who runs O'Leary Ventures. I stole it from his desk. But the whole idea is that instead of just opening bottles with it, it's the old classic breacher, new product. Bottlebreacher.com, check it out, look at that. Number 3, one of my fave craves, O'Leary wines. This year's vintage is spectacular. I'm going back on QVC. When am I on QVC, Kirsten?
December 11th.
December 11th, I'll be there all day with David Venable and then the show at night. I'm going to be doing an amazing offer. You can buy 6 or 12 bottles, free shipping. What a great gift. You can spend $30, $40, $50, or $100 and get some of the best wines I've ever made. This is such shameless promotion, but I'm so proud to do it. And of course, this year's really big knockout item is this wonderful action figure set. Yes, you can choose Mr. Wonderful and some of the others. One of my favorites is the collectible Barbara. And the reason I like it is it doesn't come with a broom. You have to wait till that item shows up and buy it separately. But these are just ideas that you can get from sort of $29 to $49, which are great gift ideas. Let's take a couple of questions if we have any.
Somebody asks, how do I gift an O'Leary ETF to kids who have been naughty?
How do I get an O'Leary ETF?
How do you give an O'Leary ETF to kids who have been naughty?
That's a great question. Well, you can buy any ETF in the market online, not just O'Leary, any of them. And I think it's a really interesting idea if you're going to start saving. That's really investing. And we're going to talk a lot about that in the year coming up. But this was more about gift giving and holding back. What I really like to do is get a list. I write it down, and everybody on that list is somebody I want to give a gift to, and I allocate dollars to it. And that way when I have my bucks, my buckaroos, I know exactly how much I'm going to spend. By the way, this strategy is a great one. Also works as a fan while you still have them. But you know, if you can go through a holiday season without having any credit card debt, you're a friggin' genius. That's my whole point. Next question.
What is the best time of the year to start your Christmas shopping? Is it better to do it early or to wait later in the month until sales?
You know, that is really interesting. But I'll tell you something, starting Black Friday, which is tomorrow, the sales season starts. I wouldn't hold back. When I see something great, even in July, and it's a great gift, thoughtful gift, sometimes very inexpensive, I buy it. And I have that list created. I know who I'm buying for. So I kind of go right through the whole year. By the way, in this last 10 years, the sales, basically everything's on sale all the time. You don't really save a whole lot, and I'll tell you why that's happening. Most merchandisers realizing that online is ubiquitous, that you can buy from multiple online sites, a Best Buy, an Amazon, or whatever, they're constantly competing for your business. The prices are pretty well the same all year long. There are a couple of sales periods, but you'll be amazed at how little the difference is between the mainstream pricing and what you can buy. And if it's a hard-to-get item or something unique that you see, buy it then and store it under your bed. Hide it. I've got something stored away from my kids right now. I know they're really going to dig, but they're not going to know what it is until I give it to them. I bought it 4 months ago. Next question.
What does a guy like you ask for Christmas?
What do I love? You know, I'm just full of merriment and just warm and fuzzy feelings. What I like is a nice, strong stock market like we've had since the election's been over. That's been a great gift, but it's not all about money. This is the time of year, really, to spend some time with your friends. So I don't need any more stuff. What I need is more time. So what I try and do at this time of the year between now and sort of middle of January is block off big hunks of time to hang out with my kids and my friends that I haven't seen. Remember the old adage, you can't make new old friends. So this is the time of year that I really try and go and spend a little time with old friends and with extended family. I'm going to fly over to Switzerland. My dad lives, spend just 2 days with him later on this month, just to fly over, say hi, because he's not going to join us this year. He's getting on in age, but I want to see him. But that's the kind of thing you should be doing. Family first, cash flow second.
How do you recommend budget for gift giving if you don't have $1,000 to spend and you're on a more finite budget?
Great question, and that's the whole point. You have to spend within your means. I don't want you to go into debt. If you don't have $1,000, you've only got $100, and you have to buy people 10 gifts, start thinking about things of meaning. Small gifts that actually remind them that you thought of them. That's why I talked about a love pop card or something like that. You know, you spend $8 or $9 on something, think about potato package, $9.99, another Shark Tank company. Think about, you know, Honey Fund or Plum Fund online where you can buy a gift card within your means. Another Shark Tank company. Have a look at Plum Fund. I mean, those are the kind of ideas where you can send even a small amount of money to somebody that's meaningful. That matters. You know, I was just thinking about another gift I like. Think about those wonderful jars of Wicked Good Cupcakes. Very affordable, great time of year. WickedGoodCupcakes.com. I am so shamelessly promoting my Shark Tank deals, but I feel good about it. Another question.
Do you have any gift ideas that might serve as a future investment for the person who receives it?
You know, an interesting idea, and I did this for one of my kids, is they finally got past 18 years old, and I opened them an online account, an investment account. I won't promote which online broker it was with, and I put in $100 so they could buy their first ETF. Now that account's in their name forever. $100 was a gift, it gets them going, and now they're getting into the whole idea of saving. And I've told them, take 10% of everything you make and start investing for the long term. That's a great gift. That gets people in the mindset of thinking long term, and it's a gift of the future. I love it. Next.
What's the best gift that you've ever received before you became wealthy?
That's a great one. You know, I guess the best gift I ever received was from my stepdad that told me I was going to starve to death as a photographer and go back to business school, because that kind of changed my life. That was a very important gift. And I've always thought maybe I could have made it as a photographer, but he really helped me de-risk, because you just never know. The greatest gifts are early in your life. You just don't know how great they are till later, and you can look back and see what was it that worked out for me and what didn't. Life is such a journey, but I wouldn't have changed any of mine. I've liked the outcome. But it requires you got to work hard. That's what being an entrepreneur is all about. It was the gift of getting me on my first path to entrepreneurship by my stepdad, George. Next.
Last question. Where did you get that Christmas tree in the background?
Oh, thank goodness you brought that up. You know what that is? That's Geek My Tree. It's on 24/7 every day of the year, because Geek My Tree is yet another Shark Tank company. I told you I love the holidays. Geek My Tree is the most interesting, technologically advanced set of lights you can ever buy for a tree. You can program it yourself right from your mobile phone and get amazing, amazing, amazing views. You know, we've got the FedEx guy or the postman that comes into our office and just stops and says, "Where'd you get that? How do you do that? How does that work?" And it's so easy to install. It's a circle you put on top of the tree, drape down the lights, and watch the amazing things that happen. And on that note, listen, have a great Thanksgiving. Everybody's going to be happy except the turkey. And I'll come to you after the holidays are over. Let's get back together again and talk about my favorite topic, investing. Happy Thanksgiving.